All right. I am live and I am so happy to see you. Hold on, let me just organize stuff. I've got two phones, one going to TikTok and one going to Instagram. And then I also have StreamYard going on a few places. So let's see how I handle all of that without going completely cuckoo. But there we go. So I am really happy to be here. It has been a hot minute because there was a month of Jewish holidays, and I was thinking of using um, an image that I saw, but it's not mine, so I didn't use it. That's it's like, sorry I didn't answer your text message. It's been a Jewish holiday for the past month, and that's pretty much what it has been. Not entirely, of course, not 100% of the time, but a lot of it. So yeah, so that was a time that I was like really busy with other stuff, but now I am back and I am excited to see you here. And I want to talk about starting fresh because um, in the fall was our New Year time, and I know that for many people it's in January, and then people have New Year's resolution and starting fresh and all that. But a lot of people feel that way in the fall as well, and I know that for quite a few cultures, actually, the New Year is in the spring. And so I'm pretty sure, for instance, for Farsi culture, the New Year is in the spring, and in fact, for us, it also used to be in the spring, and then for whatever reason, they moved it to the fall. It's interesting, but we actually have 4 New Years. I forget what all of them are. One of them is for trees, and one of them is in the spring, and one of them's in the fall, and I forget what the fourth one is. If anyone remembers, please let me know. But anyway, so I wanted to talk about starting fresh. And like I said, a lot of people have that in the fall, often in September, but for me, it's right now, and that's okay. We're at the end of October. We're moving towards the end of the calendar year, if you will, the civil year. And it's a good time to just take stock of what's going on and see what we can do to start fresh. And it's not that simple because a lot of us carry a lot of baggage, and when you have baggage, it weighs on you. And it's really interesting. I've been listening to a book by Kristen Neff. I should have brought it up, but I didn't. So there it is. I don't have it to show you, but it's called The Power of Self-Compassion, or something like that. Self-compassion, the power of being kind to yourself. I forget the exact name, but it's great because basically she's talking about not beating yourself up. And it's interesting because I follow Ray Higdon as well in many ways. Don't agree with everything he says, but I'm sure he doesn't agree with everything I say, so it's all good. But he also talks about not wasting time and energy and emotional power beating yourself up, because self-flagellation is, generally speaking, not a great thing for people. I mean, I know there are some people who just love it, but if you are actually trying to achieve something, then I would say that beating yourself up is not usually considered a great way to go about it. So anyway, I see that some people are joining. Welcome, welcome. And my name is Hadass, and I would love to see some likes, some loves, whatever you would like to share with me. And I also absolutely love having comments, because then we can actually have a conversation. I mean, I could totally sit here and just talk, but it's more fun when we're having a conversation. So if you would like to drop me a comment, then if I can see it, which is always a question, but if we can, oh, hello on TikTok. Hi. Always happy to talk with people. And yeah, I'm sorry, that is not a language that I speak. It looks like a Scandinavian language, but I'm sorry, I do not speak Scandinavian languages. I do speak English and Hebrew and Dutch, but that is not a language that I know. Sorry. So I wanted to talk about starting fresh. And it is, like I said, it is something. Oh, it's Danish. Well, see, I knew it was somewhere up north. Um, yeah, I visited Copenhagen when I was 17, and it's such a beautiful city. I remember the Little Mermaid out in the harbor really stays with me. I would love to tell you that it was a really long time ago that I was 17, but yeah, no, I appreciate you talking to me. So, starting fresh. It's yes, when you have a lot of people on different places, it's hard to stay focused, and that's okay. My friend Leslie told me that I would should focus, but you know what? Being a squirrel is part of who I am, and so if you are a squirrel too, um, no, cannot find anyone who's Danish online. Well, you know what? What you need to do, my friend, is to go live yourself, and maybe the Danish people will come. And yeah, no, sorry, I am not going live with anybody right now. Sorry. But because I actually do have some things that I wanted to talk about. So sorry about that. So yeah, but anyway, I want to, if you are a squirrel like me, squirrel, then you will forgive me, and hopefully you can take part in this conversation with me. But yeah, I am here to talk about starting fresh. And the way I wanted to, and the thing about starting fresh is that it means that you have to find a way to forgive yourself for all the ways you screwed up in the past. And you know, that can be the hardest thing. And one of the things, again, I don't have the book here with me. I haven't done this in a while, can you tell? Um, I have a book by Rabbi Daniel Ruttenberg called on repentance and repair. And you know, forgiveness is not always necessary in this world. I mean, there's a lot of people who really put a lot of emphasis on forgiveness, but you know, forgiveness isn't always necessary. Sometimes, you know, people do things that you just can't forgive, and that's okay. You don't have to. But the one person for whom it's really important that you find ways to make things good with, though, is yourself, because you have to live with yourself. You know, if there's somebody who's done things to you that you really are not, you know, cannot find in your heart to forgive, that's okay. You can hopefully cut off communication with them, but you live with yourself always. And thank you for the likes. You live with yourself always, and so it's important to work on your relationship with yourself. And that's why this book from Kristen Neff is so amazing, and I will definitely be talking about it in the future. I haven't finished it yet, because she's talking about the power of self-compassion and how with compassion for others is important as well, of course, but self-compassion means that you can actually be kind to yourself, and you can work on letting go of the weight of the baggage that you carry. If you find that you're easily triggered by things, then it's really important to look at the baggage that you have and see what you can do about it, because you can't start fresh with a clean slate unless you find within yourself the power to clean that slate. And sometimes that involves talking to other people and getting their forgiveness if they're willing to do that. And again, what matters is that you work on yourself. We can't control other people. That's one of the most difficult things that people need to learn in life, is that we cannot control other people. We cannot change other people. It's like the joke about, you know, how many psychologists or how many life coaches, if you will, does it take to change a light bulb? And the answer is only one psychologist, but the light bulb has to really want to change. And that's basically what it comes down to, is that you have to work on yourself before anything can change for anyone else. And people have a really hard time with this, and it's not easy. It's not easy, you know, because very often we are our own worst critics, and if we have developed a self-critical habit of mind, if we call ourselves names that we would never call somebody else, then it's really hard to clear the decks, to say, okay, I'm going to start fresh. I am going to do things better. I am going to have the kind of life that I want to have. And sometimes, yeah, as I said, you have to go and make things right with other people. Sometimes the burden that you're carrying is because of things that you've done. In fact, very often, the worst burdens are the things that you've done. I mean, trauma from other people can definitely be heavy, but generally speaking, it's the things that you've done that are most likely to weigh on you and that are most likely to require work. So when, like as I said, if you have trauma from other people's behavior, you can work on yourself, but there's nothing you can do about them. But you can always work on yourself. And yeah, so this time of year when we want to start fresh, when we want to, so if you've gone through this month of holidays as I have, you know that it started with with the awakening and then working on repentance, on trying to make things right between ourselves and other people, between ourselves and the divine, and now we've come out of that with the desire to build a better life and to do things better. And I've made all sorts of little videos. You may have seen them on, certainly on TikTok and Instagram and in my stories and so on. I've made reels and so on about doing better, because that's the thing, is that, to quote Dr. Maya Angelou, she said, do the best you can until you know better. And then when you know better, do better. And that is just such a profound thing, because, oops, hopefully my TikTok is still working. Sorry, this phone that I'm using is very, very low power, so I may lose TikTok, in which case I will apologize. But everything else should be fine. But yeah, so as I said, quoting Dr. Maya Angelou, once you know better, it's incumbent on you to do better. And I have been going through a lot of thinking recently, and just trying to figure out how I can do better, and how the certain privilege that I have. As you can see, my skin is quite light. Thank you, genetics. I didn't do anything to earn that particular privilege. But since I have it, what can I do to make the world better? And it's really something that, it says in the Talmud, it says that it is not incumbent on you to finish the work. It's such a big world, and it's so screwed up right now, whether it's a climate emergency or social justice. I'm in Canada, but seeing what's happening in our neighbor to the south is pretty scary. And it's not like we're immune. We have our own nutcases here too. And just the rise of fascism worldwide is just really scary. And if you are someone who values, diversity and equity, and just making a better life for everyone and not just for people with privilege, then the Talmud says you are not. It is not incumbent upon you to finish the work, but you also are not allowed to desist from it. And my dad, who passed away just over a year ago, was a passionate believer in that sort of thing, and he did his best in his corner of the world. And it can be really hard. It can be really scary. It's we all have the inclination, if we can, to just hide in our little bubble and pretend not to see what's going on in the world. But at some point, you just can't ignore it. Or maybe you can, I don't know. I am having trouble ignoring it. And so I do want to do better, and I do want to start fresh. And I would love it if you would do better and start fresh with me. And so if that sounds like something that you would like to do, if you would like to make this world a better place for everyone who is created in the image of the divine, which is everyone. Nobody left behind. Then I would love to talk with you. You can drop me a comment, drop me a DM, a message. I know on TikTok that's not so easy, but you can drop me a comment for sure. And pretty much on any of my videos. And I would love to talk with you. I would like to find out how you would like to see the world better, and maybe we can do something together. So I've been talking for a bit now. I don't want to make this too long. So you have a great evening. Remember that I love you. I'm going to be back on every Sunday evening now that the holidays are over. Thank you. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. So drop me a message if you want to talk more about how we can make the world a better place. Love you. Bye. Let's see. TikTok. And ending all the lives. I don't know how to end this live. Nope. Oh no. Did I kill it? Anyway, I will figure Instagram out and the broadcast. Have a good evening.